Are you trying to save for retirement, but credit card or student loan debt keeps pulling you in the other direction? According to NerdWallet, nearly half of Gen Xers say that credit card debt is always on their mind. And one in three feel even worse about it than they did about a year ago. And get this, 46% of Americans who wish that they'd save more for retirement say that non housing debt is what held them back. And that's according to Fidelity. And so, if this sounds familiar, this video is for you because today I'm breaking down how to start saving for retirement even if you're still paying off debt, and so that you can stop feeling behind and finally make real progress on both. So why this might be feeling so hard is that you've been focusing on so many things, on your credit card debt, your student loans, and maybe something popped up like a medical emergency. And so now you need to make some space for that as well. And so retirement just feels like this huge thing that's looming in the distance. Maybe you are having some guilt about past decisions. And so now you've come to a point where you're looking at whether paying off debt or retirement, and you want to be able to make the right decision for yourself. Or another thing that can be coming up is just fear of falling behind. And so, what this ends up leading to is trying to be more aggressive with paying off your debt and also trying to contribute to retirement. That in the end, it leaves you with very little to pay your day to day stuff or just being able to enjoy your money now. The first mindset shift that I teach my clients is this, that you don't have to be debt free before you can start saving for retirement. Now, I know maybe you might have heard things out there that you should pay off all your debt before you get started on retirement. And while that can be one approach, it might not work for everyone. And that's why I'm giving you permission now to be able to work on both if that feels good for you. If you want to feel like you are making progress towards something in the future, like your retirement, while also working right now to pay off your debt. And so, one way to get started is by just making sure you take advantage of the company match if that's something that is offered to you. It's basically free money, so you don't want to leave that on the table. And another thing to remember is that it's okay to start small. Sometimes we feel like we need to have like a whole bunch saved up to be able to save for retirement. But what if you can start small as like maybe $50 a month? That's okay as long as you keep evaluating to seeing if you might be able to save more down the line. One structure that you can follow is the three bucket system. So this includes your essentials, what the debt that you want to pay off, and retirement. And so you decide how much you put in each category based on your goals. But this approach really gives you a structure to keep your money working for you across the board. So one example can be 60% towards essentials, 20% towards debt payoff, and 20% towards retirement and savings. So once you decide on a plan, the next thing that you can do is automate it. So you can set your debt minimums to auto pay, and at least you do this so that you don't get billed for any late fees. But ideally, you do want to be able to shoot for paying more than the minimum. Then the next thing is auto transfer. So you could start with, like I mentioned, $50 or somewhere around 100 to towards some savings or your retirement. And then think about increasing your retirement every year. You can even get started with just 1%. And so that one time setup removes that mental load. And that's something that I walk my clients through in our coaching sessions. If you want a system that actually works for your life and not against it, I would love to be able to support you. Because here's the thing, I mentioned the three bucket system, and that's just a general guideline. But when working together, we can come up with a more personalized percentages. And also, when it comes to that automation piece, I know initially a lot of people are reluctant to really get started with that because what if you don't have enough in your account so that it can become automated? And so, those are some things you might run up against. So really your starting point is to first get familiar with your cash flow, and then you can start playing around with that automation. But inside my one-on-one coaching, we can go over these things and have it more personalized level, and then help you create a plan so that it just you feel more in control of your debt and confident about your retirement. So I hope that this video has helped you, give you an idea of a strategy to be able to help save and pay off your debt. But what if you are already carrying credit card debt and thinking about retiring anyway? In the next video, I'll show you what to consider and how to create a plan even if you're not debt free yet.